Just did a drop off. Dropped the guy off at the airport. And it made me think about what I'm about to talk about. It's like why I like first takes better than perfect takes. And I just thought about it now, like every time I get somebody riding Uber, it's like I only got one take. You know what I mean? I can't run it back and say, nah, I ain't like that part. I could have delivered that better. Nah, it's one take. You know what I mean? And it goes off a vibe and a feeling. You know what I mean? And it's like, in life, all the times where it's like, oh, I wish I would have did this. I wish I would have said that. If I have the opportunity again, that's what I'm going to say. But, I mean, to a certain extent, you can rehearse, you know what I mean, the future conversations. But they don't land as well as like, you know, you can have an outline and a structure, but what I'm saying is, it's the feeling. A lot of times in music will supersede being technically perfect. You know what I mean? Like, technical perfection rarely outshines emotional, you know, in the moment, the vibe of when you deliver something that you've written and you capture that raw emotion of it in the moment. It's like it ain't nothing like it. Because I could hear my music specifically, I could hear, you know, certain songs where I hopped in that booth and I got it done. One take. Probably one of my best songs too, Decadence. I got that joint in one take, yo. You know. And then back then, I never even wrote my rhymes either. But that was probably one of my best, like, recorded vocal performances, bro. I went in the booth. Hazel came in the booth with me. And I spit that shit. And you know too, cause especially when it's a lot of people in the studio with you. You know what I mean? Cause you could spit some shit in the studio when it's a lot of people with you. And everybody's still kind of going about what they doing. You know. But at certain times, certain moments, when you walk out that booth, or you look out that booth, and you see everybody is not doing nothing except witnessing what you doing, and you done struck a nerve. You know, there was another instance. I was at whose studio was I at? I was at Tone Mac Studio. That's when they had a studio in the house over by Jay Peso before they moved to the studio by Snug. Y'all had some of my, probably of all time, my favorite studio to ever record in was definitely Battle Station, all the time. They always had the illest vibe. It was just, wasn't nothing manicured or pretty about it. It was like, yo, it was just a vibe. You know what I mean? And I had recorded a song called Down in the Dirt. Yo, I went in that booth and I knocked that shit out. And when I walked out, they was playing that fucking record. I felt like I was in the fucking movie. But I knew I was about to get on. The way, cause it wasn't like it was a bunch of like just all my friends. It was like random different people there from different camps. And I walked out, everybody was just fucking vibing and shit to that shit. And motherfuckers was making comments. And you know, one dude, yo, he was like, yo, that joint right there, that's definitely fucking the album cut. That's definitely a joint. So like, I went in there and you hear that song, it's called Down in the Dirt. I'm eventually, you know what I mean, at some point, when I get enough subscribers, you know, I'm gonna start uploading these different songs I'm telling stories about. But that was a moment for me, you know. This creative drive,